some other information, but looking about 2 months.
Simon Hoban.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Peter Brown, good luck to him as well when he finally does have that happy day when he's out of debt. All the best to you, Peter. Now, it's 30 years since Apple exploded onto the scene in terms of technology with the Apple Macintosh. It was 128K, the first personal computer to use a mouse, and introduced the concept of drag and drop to an awestruck world. Since then, well, I guess you know the rest. You've probably got an iPod, an iPhone or an iPad yourself somewhere along the line, and they've practically taken over, haven't they? So how important are Apple to the technology world? I spoke to our techie expert, Dave Thackeray.
Oh, more so than ever before. I think while the PC and other systems that don't really have the name, the brand, the reputation or the sophistication of Apple are on the wane, I think this is a company that isn't already just very, very popular, but also it's ready for a new renaissance. We saw the demise of Steve Jobs a good few months ago. That was a tragic circumstance, but Tim Cook seized the reins, the new guy at the top there, and we have a British interest also in Johnny Ive, the guy who designed the iPhone and the iPad, and some really good news coming out very, very soon about Apple TV. We know that those guys not only want to be the kings of the computer scene, but they also want to dominate the home dining room and living room with that home hub to compete with the likes of Xbox and PlayStation 4. So I'm really excited to see what's going on. But hey, interesting one for you. Do you have any idea how old the iPhone is?
The iPhone? I'm going to say 10 years, is it?
Well, 6.5. I thought you were going to say 3. That has flown for me. The iPad's 4 years old. And so things are aging, but, you know, there's so many new technologies out there, Simon, that are really exciting me and exciting a lot of people like me. And Apple wants to have a dog in that fight. So I think this is just the start of things to come. So I'd say start buying shares all over again, because this is Apple's time.
Was there an iPhone 1?
There was. That was June 2007, all that way back. And the iPod, of course, preceded that. That's nearly 13 years old. October 2001, the first iPod, which was obviously the forerunner to the iPhone.
And people have, don't they, Dave, an extraordinary loyalty to inanimate objects made by Apple. Why is that?
Yeah, well, who could blame them as well? I mean, one of the first machines made by Apple after the Apple I actually is the first Apple machine ever to come out. That came out in April 1976, so that predates the first Mac by quite some time. But the Apple Lisa, you know, it was the first time that any personal computer actually got a nice, touchy-feely identity. So it's fair to say that Apple have always had one eye not only on functionality but also on style. And I think that's why they've been so revolutionary in not only things like mobile communications through the iPhone. They've really shaken up the way that we listen to music. That's what the iPod did. And iPad is mobile computing all over again. They're not brand new things, but they've got a following. They've got a really rich community supporting and rallying behind this brand. And this is why I think the future is so bright for them.
And to quote another mobile phone company, and is it really much better, sexier to use? You know, do people actually exaggerate this? I mean, it's just a phone at the end of the day. Are they really much better to use than a Samsung or whatever?
They glow like a golden orb, don't they, Simon, when they're in your hands? I only recently took possession of an iPad at work, and I have to say, it feels like using a Fisher-Price device. It's designed for adults to make like children, really. You know, all those big shiny apps and the icons that are on the home screen, and everything just feels together, and you don't really need to hack it like you would with an Android device or feel frustrated with Windows.
Well, hang on, Dave. The dreaded update and also the wiping of you know what it's like when you change your phone with Apple. There's a pretty much 50% chance that something's going to go wrong. When I upgrade my phone,
mind-washed.
You are a fanboy. You are a fanboy. I've had all sorts of problems with Apple where I've vowed that I'm never going to go with them again, and then I just get used to it again, and I'm back with them. But
no, the interesting thing, they've had a lot of problems with Wi-Fi. They've had a lot of problems with battery. There have been a lot of things, but ultimately everybody keeps bouncing back. And in New York, when they had storms recently, one of their massive glass shop fronts, made like a diamond, was smashed into a million pieces, and you almost felt like the fans were going to come running up and actually start cleaning up for them, because they do have that sheep-like allegiance to the Apple brand, and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon.
Drive Time.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Blimey, he's been zapped, hasn't he, by Apple? Dave Thackeray, who loves the stuff. Right then, so is there, creepy one this, is there a ghost ship floating off the west coast of Ireland, we wonder? In its